All right, so I figured today we should look at the new Spydercos from SHOT Show. 9 days ago, I have purposely stayed away from this stuff. I think a little bit got spoiled on Instagram. I seen like one or two of the knives, but I didn't look at anything for real. You know what I mean? Let's see what Spyderco's got.
What's up, everybody? We are at SHOT Show 2025 for my most anticipated video of the year with Eric Glesser.
Got nice some pink and black DLC over there. I like that.
Oh, yeah. And we've got a ton of new stuff for Reveal 17.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
for coming by.
15V, a lot of it.
Yeah, you know, it's taken us a little.
I'm glad to see 15V. I'm going to have to grab, that is one of the ones that I'd seen. We all knew it was going to come though. The Military 2 in 15V with the compression lock.
Time to get this stuff to the market. But we are finally getting some of this 15V to the market. So yeah, everything we make in our U.S. facility,
That's the Yojimbo or Yojimbo. Really like this knife. I always have. Kind of over peel ply. I think a lot of us are. I know they're just factory knives, but all this extra holes, I know it makes it more useful. To me, it just takes away from the look. This thing is very uniquely designed to do a task, right? We're not looking at showpieces, but this thing has a face only a mother can love. So all the extra holes, you know, it's a tool.
We will have it come out in a sprint version, but just a one-time sprint version.
Gonna fast forward. This is the triple B heat treat there. That might be my next knife purchase.
It's gonna give you a tougher steel, better edging. It's really not gonna chip out very easily. It's really not brittle like you might see some of these other super steels get.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Maximette, I have had no problem with my Maximette, but I have seen some folks getting chipping, and if you're not careful with the Maximette, hardened to like, what is it, like 67 or something crazy, 65? I really can't remember, but it's really high hardness, but really brittle. 15V has all of the edge holding, but with toughness. So 15V is probably the way to go. Although I figure on a pocket knife where you're doing a lot of slicing and stuff, Maximette is great for me. I haven't had any trouble out of it. As long as you know the use case for Maximette, it's going to hold an edge forever, but it is brittle, so no prying. If you hit a staple or something like that, you might get a chip in your edge. So I understand the appeal of 15V over Maximette.
Yeah, and with so much vanadium, it's almost like a glass in terms of how much crystalline structure there is.
Oh, when you look at the chemistry, you think, oh, this thing's going to break if I drop it. But you know, between the producing of it, the heat treat of it, the fabrication, it really is it's an amazing steel to use. It outperforms what it's supposed to do.
Quite the feat, and I just love that Spyderco is bold enough to go where no knife company would go before.
Yeah, that one's got a hollow grind on it too.
Really? So that's going to be a super thin edge.
Yeah.
And
yeah, they've always had hollow grind. They slice really well. It is a thick blade, but it's made for self-defense. I mean, clearly, but they are good at utility tasks too. I don't know. I love Warnclaifs, but that thing is ugly, and I would rather have a full flat grind if I was going for pure utility. I do understand the hollow grind though, because it keeps it thin behind the edge. There's a 15V lightweight native. I'm gonna kind of skip over some of this 15V. What's this?
And I love Magnacut.
Yes.
Oh, Magnacut is their salt series now.
Magnacut for us, we were the first to get into the market. We're very proud of that, and our mule team.
I want to see the new releases, not just like stuff we've seen.
Yeah, one of my early ones. Yeah, beautiful piece. It is a real user. You know, we've sold a lot of them for a long time because it performs. It has, you know, stood the test of time. And then in a Magnacut, you know, salt version, it really can.
Well, that's cool. Salt Manix too.
You know, withstand the
I like how it's all blacked out.
test of time. It's a beautiful piece.
Yeah, and just like
The one thing I don't like about the jimping underneath here, you can kind of see it. It's right here. It's a little bit of a hot spot for no reason. And then there's more jimping up top. Not this jimping. This jimping is nice in the choil here and up top. There's like these wide liners on it.
You know, salt version, it really can, you know, withstand the test.
When I was customizing knives, I was going to grind that crap down because it sticks out just a little bit, and it's only like the width of the liner. It's not going to cut you, but it doesn't add any grip. It's just like, why are we doing this?
Test of time. It's a beautiful piece.
Right there. You can see it. The ridge is right there.
Yeah, and just like the 15V, we also have Military 2. So if you need that big knife.
Yep, if you're looking for that bigger knife.
Ah, Military 2 and salt with the Magnacut. Not for me, but I understand the appeal here. Full-size military with the compression lock, Magnacut. Should be nearly completely rust proof. I like that, and I like the murdered out look here.
It's safe. The military too is going to be hard to beat. You know,
Yeah.
you make folding.
I once said, and I probably could still do it, if I had one knife out of my collection to carry and use for the rest of my life, it would either be a military original size or military 2, even though I don't have one. I just know I like the compression lock, or something like this is all I've been carrying. I'll make another video on this soon. A large Sabenza 3121, something like that would be like my one knife if I had to carry it for the rest of my life. Although I haven't tried a Roosevelt yet, so lots of good options. Obviously, I'm just saying how much I love the regular military.
And you make them bigger, you got to have a lock that's going to be able to withstand the tortures that it may take. And really the military model has withstood.
All right, where's the new?
As I said earlier, these are the premier.
Yeah.
And
I like that
we
pink
have
and black.
some new Italian collaborations as well.
Okay, so here's the new. Let's see what we got here.
This one looks like it has the handle of the Lion Steel Skinny.
Yep, it is. It's the handle of the Lion Steel Skinny. We call it the Slim.
I like that a lot. Is this titanium? Look, flipper. Nice little inlay. Looks like the Spyderco did a dress knife like this one time.
So it's all a single piece titanium.
Oh, look at the crown spine all the way up and around here. This is premium, boys. Look at this thing. Integral, round spine. Let's see what kind of clip they put on it, but I'm guessing this is gonna be a $500 or $600 knife here.
Very amazing.
Man, I like that a lot. And then they have a flat clip here. Clip unique to this knife with a low ride all the way to the top. Looks nice. Something on a premium knife like this. Some people are going to complain that it doesn't have a milled clip. I wouldn't. I like this style clip. I don't like most milled one-piece clips, so this would be fine for me. But let's see the rest of it.
Amazing at what Lion's able to do with their machining centers.
Oh, this is okay. When they said this is a collaboration with Lion Steel, this is made by Lion Steel. Looks like a lock bar insert in here. Like that a lot. If you'll notice here, the cutouts on the outside of this frame lock. So this is going to get caught in your pants a little bit right here. When you pull this out, I understand why they do cutouts on the outside, right? It keeps this line pressure. If you tried to close this blade, it keeps the force directly in line and doesn't like transfer the area out and then back in. So for strength, yes, you want the cutout on the outside. It does matter. How big of a difference is it? Probably not much unless you was like trying to break your knife. For practicality and uses, because that difference is so small, I'd rather see this cutout on the inside. Just me thinking out loud.
So all one piece. It is inlaid with a fat carbon composite there, all in black and white.
I like how they have blasted this hardware to match. I am kind of curious if this has a removable flipper, because this screw right here looks like it screws into the tang to make a flipper that you could take on or off. Really innovative. You know, I think we've seen that before. I think Lion Steel has even done it, which would make sense on a collaboration. But it does add a little bit of ugly to this knife. But again, utility. Their tools first, you know, and a Spyderco knife is not something as a showpiece. So I get it. And it's a cool feature. Flipper, no flipper.
It has
We'll see. I mean, this is the first time watching it. I'm just looking.
a flipper that is removable.
He just said it.
For all you European folks out there.
Has your Spidey hole, your Spyderco hole that gives you that trademark look that user.
I know most Spydercos are not cool looking. I like that a lot. I like this gentle swell right here. This kind of swells out and then comes down to I don't know, make this swoop out a little bit, so it didn't feel like it was squeezing out of your hand, like you could pull on it. Do you know what I mean? Gets wide at the rear.
It has that crown spine, so it gives you great texture.
This is not a dream knife or anything for me, but I do appreciate what they're doing here. So to round that spine in a factory knife that follows the contours of this hole is really incredible. So just to give them their flowers there. Great job. If Lion Steel produced this knife, amazing. This is probably a $500 or $600 knife though.
Texture, or great for your thumb on top.
M390, titanium, integral, I guess solid as lines.
M390 and then heat treated under Spyderco specs, I'm sure is fine, but I think a lot of us are just over M390 by now. So kind of a little bit of a miss there, but M390 is still a great steel. It's just, I don't know, I'd rather see something else. You know, I think we're all kind of burnt on M390 at the current state of how things are going.
Steel calls it. Very nice. Very nicely done indeed. And we also have a Fox collaboration. It's the first one I can remember. Is it the first one ever?
No.
We've done one before.
Oh, I think about the Spy Fox. That goes way
Spy
back.
Fox?
Yeah.
Okay, I got to read my history.
Yeah.
Well, this guy looks like it's built on the Schnapps platform.
It is. Yeah.
Hey, I like this one too. I like how slim this handle is and how unique look, but it is ugly. I could see somebody cutting this off and making a huge wave out of this thing.
Yep. So we took their platform.
You know what I mean? The wave, like a Ernest Emerson wave, like Emerson. So it'll, and then you could cut this right here and then cut off that about right there. I do like this, and I'm sure it locks into your hand nice and tight.
Just like the other one and spiderized it.
I'm sure it's entirely too expensive, but let's see what else it's got.
So usually when you spiderize it, the first things you look for is that, you know, that trademark round
Where am I going to put that hole?
Yep. And that clip. You know, we call them clippets because we were the first knife to make a
I like what they're doing here on this new stuff. They got this clip that's flat that goes all the way to the top.
clip carry knife. And so our clips typically have, you know, certain
For the show or how this knife come, it looks like they have put a sticker under there so that doesn't smack the handle and, you know, like a little blemish.
dimensions we really like to highlight. They like that
These might just be prototypes too. They don't want to damage them.
hourglass shape. And so we
Oh, crowned round spine on this one as well.
typically like to put a Spyderco clip on it, and that Spyderco
Or no, I just seen a light flash.
trademark round hole.
No, it's there. Yeah, round spine on that one as well.
The difference is Fox's flips. They have a little flipper on theirs. Ours is strictly a hole opener. So that is one major difference between the
That thing is wicked looking, like kind of dumb. I don't know if I could spend, you know, a couple $100 on it, but that's cool.
two. This is also aluminum with N690. With Spyderco, you're usually thinking titanium, you know, and then a higher,
Crazy steel.
you know, N390. But we wanted to go for a little more cost
N690 aluminum. This knife might be kind of affordable.
effective. Might even come in colors someday. We'll see. But yeah, aluminum with N690.
Very exciting. And I love that we're getting an Italian collaboration that's going to be more affordable to the masses. Yep. Sage 6. So the Sage series, you all know it well, but the big thing with Sages is the number denotes the lock, right?
Right.
And we have a new lock.
Yes, it is a new lock.
That's cool. Kevin Smock did this so many years ago. He like made this button, so I'm assuming that they worked with him, and it really was just a button drilled through the whole of a scale here so that you could do a button release compression lock. It was like, why didn't somebody see that way before? But it was cool that he did that. And I think if I seen on Instagram, because I still follow Smock Knives, he did get some sort of credit or name mention or something in here. And at first when he invented it, he was like, I have to go to Spyderco and ask them if this is cool. So I thought that was cool. Now they're working together. Now you see the Sage series is all about the locks. You know, we started with the liner lock with that peel ply carbon fiber. And then they went to the titanium frame lock for Chris Reeve, the integral lock or whatever they called it. And then didn't they do lock back or something? I can't remember. They've done a bunch of locks. So the Sage series is about sprint runs, but it's also about the locks. And it's cool that they have a new Sage combining Kevin Smock's idea here with their original compression lock thing. Kind of cool.
A new lock for the Sage series.
Yes, it is a compression lock, but it's got that new release. Kevin Smock is a collaborator we work with. We're highlighting his.
It's just so cool though, because Kevin was like, oh man, I'm gonna go with them, and it's cool that they're letting me use this on my custom knife. I don't know if he had to pay trademark fees or royalties, or if they just give him the blessing to do it, and then to see them reciprocate, and he has his own thing here. That's cool. That's really cool.
innovation of pushing the lock with the button, and that lock in general. So we're happy to bring the button compression to the market.
All right, and then I'm going to save the Edgerati for last.
Okay.
We'll talk about, is this a Harpy?
Yeah, it's our classic Harpy. We used to make it in a plain edge back in the day, but it wasn't screw together construction. It was
I've always liked hawkbills, and I had always wanted to put a Harpy in the collection. I just never did.
the old riveted style. So we went to screw together construction on most of our Japanese stainless.
I do like that. They used to be like pinned together, and now this one's screwed together here.
So we're moving in that direction. And
The one thing about some of these stainless steels and some of the Spydercos, we already hit it in the beginning, is all these holes, they drill all over it for the pocket clips. I get it, utility first, especially with Spyderco, but it does look a little ugly. I don't understand. I'm sure this has something to do with marine. Maybe you could like put this in a slot and twist it or something. I don't know.
a lot of people, the plain edge Harpy is nostalgic and a good user. So we thought to reintroduce it in the plain edge. Will it last forever? I don't know.
We'll see, but for all you people who like nostalgia,
Yeah, it's cool that they got it screw constructed too.
got it for you right here.
Definitely a nostalgic piece.
Man, and then this one, something new.
Yeah, designed by Mike Reed. It's the Pitts 2, so you might remember
I like this a lot. Pitts too.
for the original Pitts.
I do.
High in the sky.
High in the sky. Great memory. I love your research.
Yeah.
Much different lock on the original. It was a titanium bar that kept it open and shut in the original, but this uses a titanium bar that goes through the center of the scale and then hooks to the pivot, and the pivot adjusts. So
this
very
is
innovative.
A compliant mechanism.
yes.
I want to see more
Wait, the pivot is on its own. Huh. I'd like to get one and take it apart.
compliant mechanisms. I
Yeah.
love compliant mechanisms.
Yes, in a lot of ways, you can argue it's the future. But yeah, there's a lot there. I
That's a cool design knife though. Full flat grind.
remember the first
I like that bull nose tip on it, and then it has that choil where you can get right up to the edge.
time I saw it, I went, "That's brilliant. Let's get some patents on it." And through research, I give Michael Janet some credit
Also had that flat lowrider clip on it that goes all the way up to the rear of the knife.
on this. He's such a wonderful historian. He pulls out an old book and says, "Oh, 100 years ago, something was similar."
100 years ago.
but-
Somebody will claim it.
I know, but it doesn't change the fact that it is so innovative, and its execution is done unlike ever before. I mean, to get that cutout perfect, so you have that good self-close, the good solid lockup, and the good action, which is hard to get those three things in any non-locker. It's been a real joy to bring to the market.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this guy.
That one is M398 too.
Yeah, the crazy tough one, the crazy wear resistant
So,
one.
so don't cry with your slip joint, but
M398.
all
That's good
titanium.
advice, no matter what slip
Yes.
you're not in.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, and then lastly, we've got what I think is like the king of machining right here on the Edgerati. So
I understand the machining. You know how cool all this is and how expensive all this must be. This one's just not for me. And I get that it's probably a showpiece more than a tool. I'm sure it's lightweight. As far as machining goes, holy cow, that's a display of skill right there. It's like it's doing something just to do it, which I guess is, 90% of the knife world now, which is fine.
Spyders were luxury Italian or European sports cars, yeah?
Yes. My dad, always a big fan of race cars. When I was growing up, he'd have the Le Mans on or the Indy 500 or Formula One. In fact,
Really weird that they did this high-end knife that's supposed to be a sports car and then still just kept S30V on it. Not that there's anything wrong with S30V, but it's such a very standard, budget super steel these days. But maybe it's to honor the classics and like a classic Maserati or something. I don't know.
Spyderco, one of the reasons we're called Spyderco is my dad likes sports cars that are convertibles, Spyder. He also likes performance. And so, there was a car called the Birdcage Maserati in the Le Mans back in the late 50s, where they welded together a I believe it was magnesium frame, which is highly flammable, but very lightweight.
Yeah. Don't roll that thing; it'll get covered in sparks.
Right. But they molded this, they welded this frame together in these tubes and triangles to bring the weight down in their Maserati. Always a big inspiration from my father. And so that's where the
Oh, could you imagine this thing clipping onto your pants? I don't think this knife is really meant to be carried and used.
Edgerati inspiration comes from, is that birdcage Maserati.
Kind of get that same, but this is aluminum, not magnesium.
Yes. Hard anodizing.
Hard anodizing. What I love is you can really see the internals of the knife. Like, I want to get one of these, first of all, because it's an amazing knife, but the other reason is so I can show people exactly what's going on in a knife. Like, you can see the D10
That is cool, like the see-through gadget factor.
ball, you can see where the lock interface is. It's just so clear to see what's going on.
The pocket lint and everything getting in there. I guess it'd be easy to clean out too, but yeah, I think this is more of like a showpiece, collector piece. Not that you couldn't use it, but I don't think it's meant to be like a machinist carry who's inside with metal shavings, or a wood shop guy, or a sandblaster, or, you know, body shop type of situation. It just looks so much like a native, you know, a little bit bigger native, not as big as that chief or whatever, or not like a shaman, but it kind of has that same lineage, you know. Front choil, this comes down. I don't think that's a mistake.
Sports car of knives.
Oh, thank you very much.
Well, that's it for Spyderco. I don't know how long this video is going to be. Always a blast. I wanted to try to see how something like this would go, and we will do some more reactions to some other videos. We'll see how this goes, and I appreciate you guys hanging out.